Carson's getting up. I'm already hitting the button. I think it's a knockout tour day. I think. Because I'm pretty sure we...
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, we had just...
Yeah, we just did that.
1, 2, 3, 4. On. Well, we'll count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Sweet. Okay. I have lost so many times due to just repetitive nonsense. I literally had this in like 20 minutes, and now it has been 20 extra minutes. I'm getting more and more pissed off because I'm just getting fucking griefed out the ass now over just complete stupid nonsense. If I get past the first gate, I rarely fucking lose unless something stupid fucking happens. I just need good items and I can get past the first gate. If I get past the first gate without much issue, the rest of the gates... Ah! I don't have items to lose. Oh. Okay. That was...
I don't know what the fuck that was.
I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
We have a banana, so if they start writing turbulence, they'll boost into
that. Whew. Suck my vapor trail. Fucking feathers. Stupid fucking... Okay, good.
Oh, good. Good, take it.
We were trying! If I focus on some other stuff, I could probably... This is fine. If I focus on some other stuff, I could probably be a little bit less pissy. I'm just mad that I lost 2 times, and then it's just taking a while to get back to a good position. Because I have the 2 blue shell fuck-ups of me mistiming. We were trying to... Lightning I can deal with. Yeah, fine.
Bum, 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 bum,
Bump
bum,
off.
bum.
Fucking... How I dodge all of that, I will never know. We were trying to talk about... We're recording this after the DLC announcement for Donkey Kong in the Nintendo Direct. And people are so hypocritical and funny that they're basically like, oh, here comes the blue shell. Yeah, you can get it a little bit before. When it swirls, you don't have to wait until it's like super, super up. You just have to kind of listen for that whooshing and let it swirl for a second because I'm getting better at dodging it again with the time warp. The Donkey Kong people are like, oh, 2 months later, Nintendo obviously cut the content and they're charging money. That should be illegal. Yet you are the same motherfuckers that, oh, DLC in Mario Kart Win. Because in one of my really good runs, right before I lost, I was making fun of people because everyone is so butthurt about the Mario Kart. They won't pay DLC, and I didn't finish it because
Now, to be fair, people have just said DLC. I haven't really seen anyone specify paid.
Okay, no, some people said they would be okay with paid because people basically want the DLC to just turn Mario Kart World into Mario Kart 8. People just want them to...
the game you all bitched about being $80, so if there was DLC, you would then have more money. Which leads to the other thing I brought up in one of the previous attempts.
We'll get it. It's not that bad.
In one of the previous attempts is, you people all hate this game like so...
Oh, that fucking car! Did the reverse when I crashed. I reversed backwards, but there was a fucking car behind me. I'm still winning, but that's 3 blue shells to the fucking loser count.
Basically, like I was saying, like, people are so against this game. I mean, you want to talk about, like, Nintendo being greedy, and, they obviously cut the content. Because the Mario Kart was, like, announced around the same time as that at Sonic, a racing game, it's like, all of you are so against this game, you've all started championing the Sonic racing game, except I would say that's infinitely more greedy, because Sega announced several waves of DLC before the game even fucking came out.
Yes, but people just saw
Now,
it.
to be fair, like I said in a previous recording, the DLC that is just other Sega characters, that is free. The paid stuff is only the crossover characters, like Steve and the characters from Paramount because of the Sonic movie, and you could make an argument, because this is crossover shit, it's technically not Sega that's being greedy here, it's like Viacom and Microsoft, which were like, we'll only let you have this if it's paid, because if it's paid, they bank basically all the money. As opposed to the revenue being cut between...
Also, because I was going to comment on it, we're talking about the DLC a little bit earlier, I can maybe focus and make fun of people, because you're all fucking hypocritical. You're the same motherfuckers that were also bitter that Tears of the Kingdom never got DLC.
Yeah, it's like, if Nintendo can or cannot do DLC is so fucking funny to me, because I will say it, it is just a petty coin flip based on the reception of a game, because after Breath of the Wild got DLC, you're the same motherfuckers that basically kept, like, salivating for Odyssey DLC and Tears of the Kingdom DLC, and neither of those ever happened. And several people like Arlo are still big mad that, like, Odyssey never got DLC. And they're like, why did you never give this game DLC, Nintendo?
Because, and we can talk about, like, the... Oh, god fucking damn it, of course. Get 2 items, I could still win this.
It's, you just passed a gate, so, because we just passed a gate, everyone is...
Right behind me, and I'm...
near each other.
I'm decently ahead. Basically, well, to try and talk, because it is basically fucking true with people being hypocritical. Nintendo made Tears of the Kingdom, and people loved, like, Tears, and it got DLC. Odyssey was loved, and that fake leak for Odyssey where someone, because the Switch was modded super early in its life, because that Integra chip that Nintendo basically used was a flawed Integra chip. On.
Okay. Ramp.
I'm trying to...
No.
Hard. Sideline. Middle ground.
It's after.
It's
this.
right. Oh, damn, it's
right up
here. That, yeah. Right here-ish.
You're going to.
I'm trying to, because you have to go around it. So that's stupid. It's literally that stupid dirt mound that was fucking me over. And then, yeah, because you loop around backwards to loop back here.
No, that's why they gave you the arrows.
Yeah, exactly. You went backwards. Okay, we're done. It only took, like, realistically, only 3 or 4 good attempts. And then...
and because I didn't get the ability to say
we can finish some points, but first, because I was successful, to say it to myself, because I don't want to screw up the count, I have that bonus count of any blue shells I get hit by in failed attempts. I got hit by 3 where I fucked up the reversal. It was 4 reversals. I did 1 successfully. Find the footage of the 3. And we're going to quickly finish the DLC bitching. Hey, almost an hour of footage really isn't that bad. All things considered, because almost all the losses for like 15 straight minutes there are basically those cuts at the beginning, but I'm going to finish my DLC point. The Switch was easy to hack because that Integra chip had a flaw. And because the Switch was easy to hack, there was that fake, leak, basically, where someone convinced a bunch of people that Delfino Plaza and maybe other Sunshine areas were DLC. Everyone thought that was the coolest idea ever. And everyone was hyped up because that leak seemed so convincing because it was from a hacked Switch. So everyone had in their head DLC for Odyssey that would be paid, where you would visit Delfino, and it might not even be the plaza, and it might literally be, like, because of how relatively small the individual areas are, that some people even said, besides Delfino Plaza, because there's not that many maps, that the Odyssey DLC was going to let you visit every area in Sunshine. And there would be moons in every area in Sunshine, since Sunshine's individual maps are kind of small, and could easily contain, like, 50 or 60 moons apiece. And people thought that was, like, the coolest shit ever, and it didn't happen, and people wanted that. And then, basically, we get to, like, Tears of the Kingdom, and this was the joke I was going to make in that other recording as well. Tears of the Kingdom doesn't get DLC, and everyone's mad because it doesn't get DLC, but, and I will just say this, everyone wanted Tears of the Kingdom to get DLC because, I'm just gonna be an ass for a minute. This was right in the middle of Echoes of Wisdom getting announced, and so many people have such a tiny penis that they cannot deal with the art style for the Link's Awakening remake now being used for Zelda games. And when Nintendo announced the first Zelda game where you play Zelda, everyone was super hyped, but then when they noticed it was the Link's Awakening art style, everyone thought that was the cheap art style that no one gives a shit about, because Arlo also kind of did that. I don't know, I just don't gel with this art style, because he even had that annoying video for Link's Awakening. I was kind of okay with it. Okay, it's a diorama, and that's kind of cute, and you're doing a diorama style, because it's top-down, because it was a Game Boy game. Now you've made a new game in that engine. It's no longer like a cutesy one-off. This is now a new style of Zelda, and I just don't know how I feel about that. You all have tiny penises, and because you just can't handle playable Zelda in the art style you don't like, Tears of the Kingdom needed DLC so that we could have a real playable Zelda in a real Zelda game. Not this dumb baby game that they obviously shat out in 5 minutes. If people want DLC, they either love a game to death, or literally, and it's what we were talking about kind of towards the middle there, Mario Kart, people want a DLC because they effectively want the DLC for this Mario Kart to basically be Mario Kart 8. So that Mario Kart World's DLC is just normal Mario Kart that has no intermissions, so that we basically put a good Mario Kart inside of the bad Mario Kart, so that everyone can go play the good Mario Kart.
Even though you all complained for years that Mario Kart was too stale, and they finally do something different, and now suddenly the game being different is bad.
Because people, when they talk... We do need to end off and not...
Yes.
I hate sitting and rambling at the end of a
Yes.
Mario Kart. Like, well, because people do the... Yes, we want it different, and this game is different, but it's different that it sucks. Do you really enjoy the highways to nowhere? Or we do, like that video I was watching the other day, and I was making fun of where me and you were talking, because near the end of that, a dude had a point. It's funny because I just did a knockout tour. The person literally said, it's like, they came up with 6 knockout tours. It's like, there are only 6. And what I find absolutely crazy is Nintendo has like nearly 300 highways that connect every course from every other course. And you're telling me we couldn't have like 50 knockout tours? Why is it 6? Why is it not like 50 if you have like 300 highways? Because then the dude's like, you literally invent all these highways and you're too lazy to let people race every combination of every highway in the knockout mode.
Even though apparently those are the combinations that show up online. Or at least so I've heard, I don't actually know.
Hold on. I can... If I back out of the menu, I can... It's only gonna take a second. All mine... I have to click in because I'm gonna exit. This is why.
Yes, I know.
No! Because you can literally do this. Because the online... Like, it's literally, and I'm showing it because it makes a point. See how it loops?
Yes.
Around every track, and every track can go to, like, every other track near it, basically.
That's why when you're doing...
Online!
They show an arrow because...
Because you can go from track to track to track normally because of all of this crap.
Yeah.
And it's because people said in the versus mode, you can create really cool, like, long-winded nonsense that Nintendo, like that one video was like, oh, Nintendo is lazy because there's 6 knockout tours when you probably could have easily squeezed like 7 or 8 or maybe even 10. You have like 200 highways. But we need to end.
Yes.
And I hate rambling for like 30 minutes at the end, but I just wanted to make fun of people because of the DLC. Whether a game deserves DLC or not is literally, it either has to be in the 5 minutes seen as like the perfect game, or people need to have such a hate boner that people are willing to get DLC in Mario Kart World that basically removes all of the world from Mario Kart World.
Except because you people will never be happy and move the goal, even if they gave you DLC, people wouldn't say that it fixed the game, people would then complain, where if it's paid DLC, you will basically get the whole Mario Kart is $100 or more, depending on what the DLC is, and if it's free, even if it is literally what people wanted and it's just a free update, people would basically still complain because they would say that having the free update means that the game was rushed and unfinished.
Yep. To wrap up with what I was saying, because you are the same people who are still mad that Tears of the Kingdom doesn't have DLC, because your penis is so tiny that you cannot quantify the first playable Zelda in a Zelda game is in an art style that for some reason makes your balls shrivel up and fall off of your body.
Okay, first of all, the first playable Zelda in our hearts will always be Wand of Gamelon.
Damn it, Northern. You're not wrong. Or the third one of those, because you're also playing Zelda, and the third one made by an entirely different...
made by that entirely different studio.
In live action, but you're still playing Zelda.
Yes.
If we're being funny, yes. But the first Nintendo made, like, official Zelda game where you play Zelda is Echoes of Wisdom. And unlike a lot of people, I'm not turned off by the art style. So, I don't mind. I thought the game was fine and cute. But people just have such a problem with that art style that you wanted like $30 DLC in Tears of the Kingdom because in your mind, oh, playing Zelda in the past would have been so fucking cool. Whether a Nintendo game deserves DLC or not is based on arbitrary nonsense.
I wouldn't even say Nintendo, a game while people are worse about it was Nintendo, so it's just a general thing at this point where it really does feel like a coin flip.
For other games, yes, but we're talking...
But we have is an entirely different argument I'm not going to get into. We have and I will say it really does feel like people just single out Nintendo about specific things, like the final point I wanted to make, and you can edit it. And again, you motherfuckers complain about the Donkey Kong getting like $20 DLC like 3 months after the game came out. Borderlands 4 had a day one DLC that was over $100. Now, to be fair, it was over $100 because it was a bunch of random bullshit, but the two most expensive things from that were $40 and $50, meaning this game had DLC that is literally the price of previous Borderlands games.
We need to end. This is also coming off where everyone has played the Donkey Kong DLC and everyone has collectively decided that is the worst thing ever, and Nintendo is robbing you of $20.
I would have assumed everyone would have loved it because everyone has a fetish for roguelike modes, and it's a roguelike mode because roguelike modes generate infinite content.
Everyone hates it. At least I saw a bunch of people hating it for what I thought was kind of dumb reasons. First of all, apparently the main area has, like, according to most people, it's like, oh, you go to DK Island, but that's all you're doing. There's, like, no collectibles, apparently, anywhere in that entire map. So it's not even like there's a couple of extra bananas. Apparently, there's, like, nothing to collect. Supposedly, there's, like, not a single banana in DK Island. And then people talking about the roguelike mode. Oh, that was broken because of the way the roguelike mode works, because of the perk system. It's incredibly easy to go to, like, one location and get the, like, gem multiplier perk, and then you hit, like, one enemy, you get, like, 1,000,000 gems. This is, like, the dumbest roguelike thing ever. Punch one guy, gets more than enough points to win. And people going on and on about people have already apparently optimized and broken it. Because apparently you can teleport in the roguelike mode, and if you teleport around because the fossils and stuff are set, it's like teleport here, punch fossil, get big perk, teleport here, punch one dude, get 1,000,000 points, win. Apparently that works in every floor. Every layer, apparently it's all the same. You just teleport to the one fossil, get the biggest multiplier perk, teleport to the biggest dude, punch him, get more than enough points to win, and that's your mode. People have already optimized it, apparently.
Of course the internet has.
Or at least random bitchy people are acting like that's the case, but I'd have to see. Now, this is just me going off some, like, negative things, but I do want to end.
My final point, I could see people being sweaty enough to optimize the fun out of this day one.
Even though, final point, Nintendo literally said the whole point of the roguelike mode was to get a big gem multiplier to get big points. So if you're telling me that you're mad that you literally get a gem multiplier and get big points, that's how the mode works. And people are acting like that's bad because people are like, oh, that's not fun. You just get the biggest multiplier, punch like one guy and you win. Nintendo literally said that's how the mode works. Because you're trying to get a crazy score. And if you paid attention in the trailer, final point, they had like 50 perks, and they were like multipliers on top of multipliers. So you found a way. Nintendo encouraged you to get multipliers faster. If anything, you're playing the mode correctly and bitching about it. Because they literally said it's a score it's a multiplier mode. It's gonna be way later, given how we're editing, but I'm saying this in the Mario Kart because I don't know because realistically this will probably go up first by a small margin, but to try to talk about the DLC and stuff and not ramble, when me and Carson are cleaning up 100% in a later layer in the Donkey Kong, we're probably going to talk about this. So that will probably be our next Donkey Kong recording, but that part is probably not going to be up for 2 or 3 months from the time of recording this. I'm basically going to do my outro stuff now. I think I said my piece. Sorry about the rambling. I was just mad and I didn't have time to talk because I was bitching in some failed attempts because of the Mario Kart griefing. I just... Damn it. When I do my outro and I cut to the failed attempts, you're just going to see a whole bunch of me not passing the first gate. Then the, like, 2 good attempts where I hit the sandbars. Couple of failed attempts with the blue shells of mistiming the time reversal. Because that was 3 of those, but... Anyway, to do all my outro stuff now, again... My video, I can sit here and ramble at the end. I like having my thoughts in a video, but basically, we're done. Single video, single bit of editing. We've recorded long enough. So, I'm going to chill and whatnot. I can do this pretty fast now. First of all, if you enjoyed the video, subscriptions to the YouTube channel help the most. If enough people subscribe, YouTube will promote the videos more. So subscriptions help a ton. In the video description and the pinned comment are a bunch of social media links. Some of those sites are cesspools, but if I don't promote on certain websites, I just don't get as much of a reach online. So, basically, that's why I use a bunch of websites, because if I don't, I just can't promote the channel as much. I have a Patreon, it's under my name. If you want to support us financially, money would go to me. Lowest tier is $1, you get videos early. Second tier is $2, and I'm going to let the second tier vote on games me... Damn it. Oh. Dang it. I might have cut some of that. I started coughing. Second tier is $2, and I'm going to give you a list of the games me and Carson played, but the list is going to be stuff I edit. So it will be what goes up on the channel, and you also get some thumbnails. Like, thumbnails as a sneak peek, and if I get more people, editor's notes. And then the third tier will be given a list, and it's $3, and you basically will get to vote on what me and Carson record, and that will go into the backlog. But you'll know what you voted on is what we work on and record next when we get openings. And under some special circumstances, that stuff might end up on the channel sooner rather than later. But I'm going to let people vote and control the channel. I have to shill. It's just the way it is. So with my shilling done, I will do the proper outro and everything. I know I'm awkward, but I just wanted to ramble. This has been the 150cc footage for the Spiny Rally, so that video's done. Single video, like I said. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So anyway, I thought this topic would be interesting to discuss. I thought a lot of people might agree with me, but anyway, without further ado, how many of you think this is one of the worst knockout tours to get the best rank on? If only because that first section is complete and total horseshit and is a perfect amalgamation of why I think the ranking system is inherently flawed, because there is no fucking way that most people can get the best rank super easily without luck, especially on a knockout tour like this, where the first section is so basically starved for item blocks. More often than not, you will lose immediately, not even because you inherently lose, but because you basically cannot get into first in like 30 fucking seconds. And that was my biggest problem. This knockout tour is one of the worst knockout tours in the game. I'm not sure if it's the worst. I would still say one of, because a lot of my most hated knockout tours all do this. You start in a section with so few items, it is basically pretty much impossible to win without heavy amounts of luck. And I feel like that basically does quantify why the ranking system is complete and total horseshit. This goes back to that argument that me and Carson had that kind of turned into a long-winded discussion when I was first trying to play the game. And I have that one knockout tour where I get the 2 stars instead of the triple, and I get really pissed off and assume, oh my god, they must literally want you to pass every gate in first. And then when we figured out that was the case, we had that discussion where Carson makes that one incredibly stupid point that amounts to nothing. And I'm not going to completely go on that tirade again. I just think his point was dumb, because his point was something that basically technically is a thing, but also isn't really a thing. And he missed my entire fucking point, where basically when playing the knockout tour, I was like, do they really want you to go through every gate in first that seems kind of mean and stupid. And then we figured out, oh, that seems to be the case. And then Carson had that pointless moment of realization that, again, I'm not trying to be a complete ass, but I basically have to, where he's like, oh, it's the crown. I'm like, what? The crown. When you pass the gate in first place, you get a crown. So you obviously need to keep the crown. It's that simple. I'm like, that doesn't matter. But it's the crown. I'm like, you're just saying things that are just pointless words because you're describing the game as if your sudden realization justifies horseshit design. Oh yeah, you need to keep the fucking crown. Except, why? Why is this a thing? Technically, he's not wrong, but it's pointless because there is no fucking reason that the ranking system has to be designed that way in his stupid statement, which, again, I will be an ass. Sorry, Carson, it was stupid. Is this statement stating something as if his statement solved the whole conundrum here, but it didn't. It is just stating a thing that is basically Carson just stating a statement that is technically what the game is doing, but that doesn't justify anything. This realization doesn't mean anything. It is just technically how the game works. When you pass a gate in a knockout tour in first place, you get the fucking crown. You need to pass every gate in first, meaning you need to get the crown and keep the crown. And his shocking realization was him earnestly stating that as if he solved the mystery, as if the secrets were revealed, like this is national treasure. It's the crown! No, that doesn't matter. You're just stating things that are pointless fucking statements because the game is designed in a dumb way. Because I will keep saying it. I said I wasn't going to harp on it, and I need to stop. But I need to go on this tirade every time. Getting first place in a knockout tour consistently at every gate is just pointless, mean, RNG hell, since most knockout tours start off where the first gate is usually around a minute or two from the start, and you usually only have 3 to 5 sets of items. The knockout tours, by design, are counterintuitive to this ranking system and the stupid crown thing that Carson said doesn't mean anything because there's no reason that the game needs to be designed this way, and pointing out that they want you to keep the crown is sort of this pointless no shit, except yeah, that's technically true because that's technically how the game works, but you're stating something that is basically a very pointless statement because my final point before I end off here, there is no reason for that. The ranking system, it's not technically about the fucking crown, it's about passing every gate in first, which by proxy, if you're doing that, you will get the crown and keep it, but this fucking crown technically has nothing to do with the fucking ranking system because it's ranking you on if you passed every gate in first, meaning technically it's based on the crown, but it doesn't have to be because I guess I am doing my tirade again. Then I will do the truncated version and wrap up. Because it is not triple star worthy to pass the first gate in a knockout tour in second fucking place. in a mode about elimination, the final 4 places should have been what determines a rank. If you beat the Knockout Tour in first, you get 3 stars. Second place is 2. And then third place is 1. Fourth place is nothing. Because it ends up an elimination match where you end up down to 3 opponents and yourself. If you beat the Knockout Tour in first, what does it matter if 1 or 2 of the other gates in the Knockout Tour were not first place finishes in a mode with a minimum limit of elimination where, of course, if you make it to the goddamn end of it, you should be rewarded, and I don't think the fucking Knockout Tour should have been an asshole about passing every gate in first place in a mode built around elimination. But I have rambled enough. I said my piece. I am ending off. I'm going to do the rest of this because I am rambling. I just get heated because this ranking system is stupid. Anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute if you subscribe to the channel. If you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.